For this short sequence, we're going to use 1 or 2 blocks. If you don't have any, that's okay. I'll give you variations. I have 2 blocks, one stacked on top of the other, both of them flat and wide. I'm going to put one foot on each side and sit right in between my heels on these blocks. Take your hands to the top of your thighs and just rest your hands. No need to press down. Drop your chin down and back and try to find a really long spine from tailbone to base of skull. Perhaps close your eyes and look inward at the path of your breath. Begin to breathe more deeply, using the inhale to fill you up and the exhale to create minor constriction in your abdomen. Take your hand or your 2 hands to your abdomen, and as you inhale, press your abdomen forward into your hands. And as you exhale, let the navel soften back toward the spine. As you inhale, actively expand your abdomen forward, upward, downward, to the right, to the left. And then as you exhale from all sides, soften. Take 5 more belly breaths. Each exhale not only softening your abdomen, but dripping that softening down through your hips, so that you sit a little heavier every time you exhale. Two more breaths into the belly, out to soften. Now continue to breathe deeply and go back to that breathing where you inhale all the way in and exhale and tone your middle as if you're squeezing on a tight pair of pants. And let's take our right leg and step it forward and our left leg and step it forward. I'm going to turn to the side to show this. I'm turning my toes out just a little bit. I'm walking my feet out wide, and I'm pressing my knees out a little bit wide. So I recommend you take your hands to the outside of your knees and press your knees into your hands and just hold there for a few breaths. And not only thinking about your knees pressing into your hands, but pressing from the inner thighs to the outer thighs. So this whole outer leg gets strong. Now for some of you, you're going to stay here. Maybe take your hands to heart center and sit up tall. And for some of you, it's a reasonable request to either take your blocks lower or shift yourself forward and just hold yourself up without the blocks. It's entirely up to you. There's not a wrong answer. Press your legs and your arms into each other if your arms are on the insides of your legs. And can you find a balance between engaging the inner thighs and engaging the outer thighs? Exhaling to engage the inner thighs, Inhaling to engage the outer thighs, and take 3 more breaths here in this squat position. Working your tailbone toward the floor, as some of you may be able to do, dripping your tailbone down, scooping up your lower abdomen, and potentially lifting up even taller through your torso. And let's try to put the outer feet down as heavily as the inner feet. Now from here, whether you're on your blocks or not on your blocks, we're all going to put our weight a little forward onto our hands and step one leg at a time back behind us, so that now we're on hands and knees. Now I'm going to scoop back on my mat quite a bit, so I'm going to move my blocks out of the way. Scoot all the way to the end. Take the knees wide, the toes close together, and the inner thighs are reaching back towards your heels until you're sitting down on your heels. Now, if that's not okay for you, you can take that block in between the feet again and sit on the block. As you rest your head down toward the floor, maybe it doesn't comfortably reach. And again, you could take a block underneath your head. Regardless of how you use the blocks, you are in child's pose. Find a comfortable position for your arms and rest here. Rest your body, but keep breathing deeply, all the way in to expand in all directions, and then out to create a little tone in your middle. A little tone in your middle might help you feel more widening and lengthening in your low back. Take 2 more breaths in this child's pose. Big breaths. And then walk your hands next to your chest and lift yourself up. We're going to swing our hips over to one side and our knees over to the other so that we can lay ourselves down. Okay? Plant yourself all the way down on the floor. Your feet are grounded, your knees are bent, and your hands are just sitting on top of your thighs for a moment. Take a deep breath in. And with an exhale, hug your left knee into your chest. As you inhale, push the knee forward into the hands so your knee goes a little bit away from you. And exhale, squeeze the knee into your chest. As you inhale, push the knee into the hands. And as you exhale, squeeze the knee into the chest. Now you can keep those movements or you can just hold the knee close. Stretch your bottom leg straight on the ground. Extend through your inner ankle. Imagine you're pushing your big toe into a wall. Take 2 more breaths. Now place your left foot on the floor. Hug your right knee into your chest. And as you inhale, push the shin away from you, pushing into the hands. And exhale, pull the leg toward you. Inhale, push the leg and the hands together. Exhale, relax the leg and pull back. Inhale forward. And exhale back. Now please straighten your bottom leg. And you can keep the movement in the right leg, or you can keep your right leg hugged into your chest. Push firmly from that left hip, through that left thigh, through that left calf, through that left foot, as if your foot were pressing into a wall, or as if you were standing on your left foot. Take 1 more breath here, expanding in all directions as you inhale, and then toning your middle as you exhale. Place your right foot down on the floor. Hug your left leg in towards your chest. Hug your left leg in towards your armpit, so you just brought it wider. Bring your left leg as wide as it will go, hugging out toward the floor beyond your mat if you're on a mat. Then you're going to take this left foot and cross it over your right thigh. And then encourage from the hip joint, not the knee joint, from your hip, can you rotate your left leg externally so the top of the thigh is moving down toward the foot of your mat. Okay, hold here for a moment. I'm going to change directions so that you can see me very clearly. My left leg is externally rotating. Okay, my left foot is in line with my knee, but I'm imagining pulling it down toward my hips. So my left leg is pretty strong here. Now let's rock our legs from side to side a few times, massaging the lower back, finding a pace that feels nice and pausing wherever it feels like you need some extra attention. On your next inhale, come back to center. On your next exhale, squeeze your waist a little and lift your bottom leg up. See if you can maybe hold on to that right leg with your hands. Okay, I'm going to switch directions one more time, just in case it's clearer to see it this way. I'm holding my right leg and pushing my hands and my thigh together. Now, if holding your leg is just really quite a reach for your body, you have the option to put your block under your right foot and continue to work the pose. Or you have the option to take a block underneath your head so that you can more easily reach the leg. So you've already been here for a few breaths. You might be able to use your left elbow and encourage that left thigh a little bit further away from you, even though you're pulling your right thigh a little closer to you. Be mindful that our tendency is to scoop up our lower back to round it. Try to actually avoid that. Try to actually just keep your hips flat and your low back neutral. One more breath here. And then we're going to take the right foot down to the floor, uncross the legs, and plant both feet down. Please take the hands to the top of your thighs and press your thighs with your palms at about 30% out of 100. Inhale, all the way down into the abdomen. Exhale, all the way out. And then release the pressure of your hands against your thighs. Let's hug our right knee into our chest. Hug our right knee into our armpit. And then take our right knee as far to the right as we can and squeeze it in. Now we'll take our right ankle and sit it on top of our left knee. From our hip joint, not our knee, we're going to rotate so that our leg is externally rotated, pressing the thigh toward the foot of your mat. Now maybe you give yourself a little rock side to side. Try to keep your right leg strong. Your hip is engaged to keep this rotation. And remember on the other side how I suggested that this right heel pulled down toward the hip. It's not sliding down, it's pulling down to keep the leg engaged and in the same position. Come back to center from rocking with an inhale. Use an exhale to tone your middle and lift your legs up. Use your blocks according to what you need, or hold your left thigh with your hands. Can you try extending your inner ankles longer, maybe pushing out through the big toe mounds on both feet? Maybe over the next couple of breaths, you can see if there's more room to rotate your right leg further in deeper external rotation, maybe even using your elbow against the against the inner thigh to press the knee away. One more deep breath. And then lower your left foot down, uncross your legs and plant both feet on the floor. Take your hands to the top of your thighs. Take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, push at about 30% your hands into your thighs, pushing your thighs gently away from you. And as a result, feeling like your hip creases or your hip flexors just got a little softer. Now release that adjustment. Hug both knees into your chest. Take your knees as wide as your armpits. And you can hold right here. Or you can flex your feet, lift your feet, and hold your ankles. Hold the outer edges of your feet, or hold your big toes for happy baby pose. I'll show it again in a different orientation. Hugging the knees wide, lifting the heels on top of the knees, and holding on to some part of your ankle or foot so that your arms can hold your legs in this position. Now remember when you were squatting down, how it was this shape? And you squeezed your legs in toward your arms, but you also pushed your legs out into your hands. Try that. As you exhale, squeeze, engage your inner thighs. It's not that you actually have to be moving your legs. It's just a little engagement. And then as you inhale, engage your outer legs as if you were going to press your knees apart. As you exhale, engage your inner legs as if you were going to squeeze your knees toward each other. And so it goes for the next 3 breaths. This is similar to the last pose we did, which was Eye of the Needle. This is Happy Baby pose, and we're trying to keep our pelvis flat on the floor if at all possible. And because of that, it might be the case that, again, you have a block underneath your head to try to reach your feet. Okay? Now we're going to release the hold of the feet, hold the knees in toward the armpits. Bring the legs close toward each other, however close they're going to go for today. If it's possible, hold onto your knees and send your legs a little bit away from you. So your knees are just being fully held by your hands. Your legs are not putting any effort into this. Your arms are straight. And then drop your feet down toward the floor. Slide your hands to the head of your thigh bones, to the top of your thigh bones. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, push your hands into your thighs at about 10%. Take a deep breath in from chest to ribs to belly. And as you exhale, gently press your thighs at about 20%. Inhale. And exhale, press at about 30%. Slow inhale. And exhale, press at about 40%. Inhale. And exhale, press at about 50%. And take 2 more breaths there. Giving your hip creases time to receive the adjustment you're giving them, to become more spacious and relaxed, which consequently relaxes your hips and your low back. Now release your hands And you can rest here for as long as you like, perhaps even stretching your legs out straight if that's okay on your low back. I'm going to say my goodbye to you, but please enjoy your resting pose as long as feels good. Thank you for practicing.